occupied the mountainous region, though they were thick enough on the surrounding plains. They told of deep rumbling sounds in the hills that frightened them. Obviously, they said, the peaks were the home of the gods, particularly the thunderbird, and he and his Olympian companions liked privacy and quiet. This story was sufficiently well known so that some of the better informed pioneer prospectors half expected in some sequestered gulch to come upon volcanic activities similar to those of Yellowstone Park, but they never did. In the late 70s, a writer announced that the white men had made the hills untenable for the Indian deities and that the rumblings had ceased. But we're not so sure about that. A notable characteristic of the hills, away from the highways, is silence. A silence so dense and deep that you can hear the blood beating in your ears. A few people who have been much alone among the gulches say that on a clear summer day, they have heard the thunderbird still muttering to himself in a distant and mysterious rumble, which is neither the miner's dynamite nor ordinary thunder. But why bother about the details? The hills are, well, they're the hills, that's all. 1,000 efforts have been made to describe and name them. Pioneer writers spoke of their gloomy fastnesses, but that was in a day when hostile Indians or a road agent might be encountered in any clump of brush. Then they were called the richest 100 miles square on earth, which is still used. Then people who loved them and thought their name was not cheerful enough proposed to call them the Purple Mountains. And of late, the local newspapers have bestowed upon them the nickname of the Magic Mountains. Yet there's something artificial about all these, and perhaps the old natural names you find among them have a truer ring, like Poor Man Gulch, and Lame Johnny Creek, and Shirttail Canyon. One evening 50 years ago, 3 clergymen started out afoot to attend a religious gathering in a nearby mining camp. But in the dusk, they took the wrong fork of the trail. Next day, the local paper, with a commendable effort to keep a straight face, announced that the reverend gentlemen had failed to reach their meeting because they got lost in Go to Hell Gulch. The hills are still at least 2/3 wild, and as in any mountain country, are likely to remain so. In spite of the towns and the tourist camps and the sawmills and the mines and the ranches, there are many rugged, forested square miles that don't see a human being from one year's end to another, which in this trampled, tamed, tired old earth is as it should be. But the hills have not the stern, austere, almost threatening aspect of the greater ranges. They are friendly little mountains, and to the traveler across the plains, weary of topping one level, unbroken skyline after another, they rise up and say, "Come on in out of the wind and rest yourself." There are things here to please people of many tastes, from the artist to the scientist. The only one who is at a loss is the person with a passion for the many-windowed canyon walls of a great city. After my more than 50 years among the hills, half of the time living intimately with them in a situation where I see more hilltops than I do people in a week, I'm beginning to know them a little. They have given me many of the ingredients that go to make life engaging and satisfying. But I am most grateful to them for the gift of 3 things which today's world seems to seek without finding: freedom and quiet and peace.
Thank you.